Every single light and outlet in my house is currently being powered by this Oupes Guardian 6000 power station. That includes the outlets powering my refrigerator, my microwave, my coffee makers, my work from home setup, everything in my living room, and more. Not only that, but I have a solar panel hooked into it as well, so I'm getting free energy into my house, not relying on the grid, and I'm doing it about as cheap as you can do it. My name's Eli, and this channel is all about making solar power as simple as possible. For about a year now, I've been showing people how to power off-grid tool sheds and workshops with beginner-friendly solar setups, and today I'm going to show you how to do that with your house as well. First, I'm going to tell you about this Oupes power station, because you can really power just about anything with it right like it is. But I'll also tell you how you can take it a step further and really optimize this thing to solar power your home. I'm so excited to show you guys this because it's truly the cheapest way that I've found to add solar power to your house, and it's so easy to set up as well. I don't know why more people don't do this. So the Oupes Guardian 6000 power station, solar generator, whatever you want to call it, is significantly cheaper than the comparable ones out there. The EcoFlow Delta Pro 3, for example, it has less battery capacity and puts out a lot less watts and costs $600 more than this thing. When I was looking for a power station that could power my home, I was originally looking at the EcoFlow Pro Ultra. It does have a little more battery capacity and running watts than this one, but it costs $2,400 more. And the main reason I never pulled the trigger on any of the EcoFlow units is because I heard horror stories about EcoFlow's customer service. Alternatively, I've heard nothing but good things about Oupes customer service, and I even gave their customer service number a call just to test, and I was able to easily talk to a real person who spoke clear English. So full transparency, Oupes did send me this unit for free to test out for the video, but they're not paying me anything and they have zero input on what I say. And it was honestly just a situation where the stars aligned because I was already looking at buying one of these things. I was just so curious if the cheapest whole home generator would actually work, and spoiler alert, it does. I'm going to show you exactly how I have it set up to solar power my house, but before we dive into that, let me tell you a little bit more about the Guardian 6000 so you can see if it's a good fit for your needs. So this is a dual voltage generator, meaning it can power 120 volt items like your outlets and lights, but also 240 volt items like your dryer or your oven. It can put out 3600 watts at 120 volts or 6000 watts at 240 volts, and it can surge up to 9000 watts. If you're just getting into the solar space, those numbers might not mean anything to you, so let's real quickly just go over some rapid fire common items that you might want to power and how many watts they use. So a refrigerator will pull about 200 to 500 watts when it's actively running. A sump pump will pull about 480 watts. Your Wi-Fi router probably pulls less than 20 watts. The lights for your whole house is probably like 50 watts. A microwave pulls about 1500 watts, and a coffee maker pulls about 1200 watts. My house is usually pulling about 200 watts on average at any given time, just with the stuff that we have plugged in and the random lights we might have turned on. So the other factor is how long it can run all that stuff. The Guardian 6000 has 4,608 watt hours of battery capacity built in, which is about 4 times the capacity of an EcoFlow Delta 2. If you're familiar with those are very popular. So this battery alone is enough to power your refrigerator for probably 3 days, maybe closer to 4. And if you add solar power to that, obviously you're going to get even longer run times. Oupes also makes expansion batteries. Those add an additional 4,608 watt hours of capacity. You can add up to 8 of those expansion batteries, giving you a total of 41,472 watt hours, or about 41.4 kilowatt hours of capacity. And they just plug right in on the side of the power station. For my use case, powering lights and outlets, I will never need 41 kilowatt hours of battery capacity, but I could definitely see myself adding 1 or 2 expansion batteries. And here's where you plug in solar panels via an Anderson connector. The Guardian 6000 can handle up to 2100 watts of solar. To reach that 2100 watt mark, you're probably going to have your solar panels wired up at least partially in parallel, because it can only handle up to 140 volts of solar input. I currently just have a 450 watt folding solar panel sitting out in my yard, so in order to make this setup really effective, I definitely need to add more solar. But this 450 watt panel from Zeo UPW has been getting the job done. It consistently outperforms my expectations, and it came with a nice long cable that has all these different connectors on it, including an Anderson connector, so I was able to just plug it right into the Oupes. But I will definitely be getting a more long-term solar array set up soon. So back to the Guardian 6000, it has 4 standard 120 volt AC ports. This 30 amp port is for a generator cable, so you can hook it up to your home's generator transfer switch, which is what I'm doing. It has this 30 amp port for things like a dryer or a well pump, a 240 volt AC port, meant for heavy duty appliances. And this port is where you can plug in like an RV. It also has a USB-C port that can put out 140 watts, 2 USB-A ports, a cigarette lighter port, or whatever the official name for that is, and an XT90 port. I actually didn't know what an XT90 port was for, but apparently some like drones and e-bikes and 3D printers use those. You can charge the Guardian 6000 via this AC port on the side by just plugging it straight into the wall. You see I have mine plugged in. You can charge it from 0 to full in 84 minutes with 3600 watts at 240 volts. Although that's probably not the healthiest way to charge your battery. I have mine charging at 120 volts and I have it set to be capped at 400 watts. You can customize stuff like that in the Clean Energy app. It connects to the Guardian via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi and gives you a ton of settings that you can customize. You can even schedule routine activities. So for example, you can set it to automatically recharge itself at night via AC power when electricity is cheaper. I have a routine set up to charge mine from midnight to 4 a.m. just to make sure I have enough battery to last through the night until the sun comes up and I'm getting more solar power in. If I had some expansion batteries plugged in, I probably wouldn't even need to do that at all. But with the standard battery, it's very helpful. So at 4 a.m., the AC charging stops, and then when the sun comes up, solar charging takes over. You can even set it to conserve a certain amount of battery at all times, just in case a blackout would happen and you would need that extra battery. I have mine set to charge up to 90% and discharge down to 10%. Apparently that's healthy for the battery. So all of this for about $1,600 seems like a steal, to be honest, but how does it actually perform powering your home? So I have a 20-foot generator cable running from mine into this Reliance transfer switch that I installed myself a few weeks ago. If you want to see how to do that, I'll link a video somewhere up here and also in the description so you can watch me install this thing. It's easier than you'd think, and if you're uncomfortable doing it, you can always hire somebody else to do it, but it's really not that bad. So this transfer switch allows you to choose if your circuits are being powered by the grid or by a generator. As you can see, almost all of mine are flipped to generator. The only one I have that is still on grid power is this outlet right here that powers my washing machine. The washing machine uses a little bit too much power and chews through the battery pretty fast, so until I get another battery or more solar, I'm leaving this on grid. I occasionally have to flip this one back to grid as well because it's where we plug up like the crock pot and stuff like that also chews through the battery pretty quickly. And keep in mind, this is just my sub panel. It only contains lights and outlets. The only outlet in my entire house that I don't have wired up through this thing is the one that the Guardian is plugged into. Obviously that one needs to stay on grid. My main panel has the circuits for the big stuff like central heating and air, stove, water heater. If I wanted to take all that stuff off grid, I'd have to spend a lot more money. But with just my sub panel hooked up, you can see I've currently got only 55 watts of AC going out. I am filming this really early in the morning. My family's still asleep, so they're not turning on lights or anything right now. And since it's early in the morning, the sun just came up, so as you can see, I am getting 157 watts of solar in right now, and my battery is only at 36% charged because, you know, there was no sun overnight. I had the AC power come in for a few hours overnight just to get me by, but that's not enough to actually like charge it to full. I rely on the sun to do that. If we head inside and turn on the microwave, you can see how the output number changes and so does the runtime calculation. But with this setup, I have no issues microwaving, making a cup of coffee, my fridge is cold, my TV works, no issues. If I didn't tell my wife that I set this up, she wouldn't even know we're not using grid power anymore. So you can see this is a fully self-sustaining system that's going to shave money off of my electricity bill every month, especially once I have more solar panels. If you have enough panels to get close to that 2100 watt mark, you're set. So I'm going to add more panels, maybe add an extra expansion battery, and make a follow-up video in a few months so you can see how much money I've saved. A setup like this is going to pay for itself eventually, it's just a matter of how long. And I think the way that I have it set up is perfect for what this unit can do, but if you have any suggestions on how I could improve this setup, let me know down in the comments below. And feel free to drop any questions you may have. I'll leave a link in the description to the Guardian 6000 and every other product that I mentioned in this video if you're interested in picking this up for yourself. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this, and thank you very much for watching.